All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. And I actually hope that you can hear me clearly. If I can just get feedback from those who are joining early to say you can hear me and everything is pretty much okay here with even the background noise and stuff like that. So let me just get feedback so that we can kickstart this whole thing. I hope everybody's actually doing fine. We actually have a very good week. I mean, the week that we had was very much, positive and optimistic. But the question now becomes, what are things going to be looking like heading into the next week and probably the weeks that follow? For me personally, I'm looking at things like slowly but surely, because in situations like these ones, after you've had massive crashes, you can also be expecting, a dead cat bounce, which really doesn't get into massive expansions and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm saying is happening right now. I'm just saying that I'm really just trying to be as conservative as possible. So if I can just get feedback, if you can hear me clearly, we can quickly start the live stream, right? Sound is good. Okay. So somebody said sound is good, so I think we can kickstart it nice and easy. Let's go ahead and start with the Bitcoin price, because that's what we want to talk about. Bitcoin, we're going to be talking about the JASMY price set. We're going to be talking about Telcoin. We will take a look at ACH, Alchemy Pay. Then we'll also take a look at Zebec. I think we're also going to be covering what was that, ICP Internet Computer Protocol. We'll take a look at XRP as well as Hedera HBAR. And after that, we're going to be taking a look at the ones that you want us to take a look at, right? And we can discuss and see how things are progressing with those other altcoins. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the BTC price set. Of course, it's the biggest, altcoin. I'm saying altcoin, biggest cryptocurrency out there. So we'll start with BTC. Let's give it the respect that it deserves. Anyway, it actually determines what is going to be happening with the other altcoins that we want to take a look at. So what has actually been happening with Bitcoin price is very much simple here. You see that BTC managed to break its downtrend here, and breaking this downtrend was something that the market always needed, right? So because this was indicating that the downward, so selling pressure was almost exhausted. Not did it only break that support, it also resistance, it also broke the horizontal resistance, which you can see here. So for now, BTC is above the resistance, and something is actually happening here, which I'll show you happened also very much recently, where you see a few candles just making something like an indecision as to what is happening here. I mean, from my own experience, I think these things usually end up again pushing towards the upside. So the chart is kind of gathering more momentum right there. I'll show you a quick example of something like that first here for BTC, which is right here. This was back in November 2024, and you can see also, a few daily candles just trying to, just trying to get above, the resistance, and then of course from there it was really pushing so hard until to where we are today. So this kind of price action that we are seeing on BTC is positive. And however, I mean, if we get some kind of a rejection here, we have got some support levels on the horizontal support here, which we can say is right around $90,000. Don't be expecting that the price will only be pushing towards the upside. It's also okay if it pulls back to $90,000. I think, still that's a good support. So if BTC is healthy, every other outcome that we're going to be taking a look at is also just going to be healthy. That's really something that we have to appreciate. But of course, we think we also have to take a look at the JASMY price set, which I promise to do. We'll briefly take a look at it and take a look at basically everything else, and then we can get into the Q&A so that we can take a look at your favorite altcoin that you want us to cover real fast. So this is JASMY, and I've been talking about the 50 daily moving average every single time I'm making a JASMY video. And I mean, it doesn't get simpler than that, right? Look, when JASMY is above the 50 daily moving average, like here, it's bullish, right? This is actually what has happened in the past every single time. You also see this spot here, you're above the 50 daily moving average, break above it, back test, and then off and away you're pushing. And it actually happens so fast. It's maybe 2 weeks, a few days and stuff like that, and it catches a lot of people by surprise. That also was the case here. Break above your 50 daily moving average, you pump, and then you're looking too good right there. I mean, pretty much the same thing right here. If you're a regular on this channel, I'm very sure that you are tired of hearing the same story. But this is how easy things can get, at times. And of course, I'm very happy with this Jasmy movement that it did, because as I've been showing you on my YouTube videos, I've been in a long position here for Jasmy, and I managed something like a 330% at some point, and that's good, really, because you want to be putting your money exactly where your mouth is, and when things turn out to be right, you get rewarded. Obviously, if you get things wrong, you get punished, right? So it is what it is right there for Jasmy. So the question now becomes, what is next here for Jasmy? I think yeah, the whole thing was with the RSI here, because what we have noticed with Jasmy is that the RSI usually gets into the overbought territory right there. Then this is when we see actually much more momentum coming to Jasmy. A lot of people confuse these things, and they say, when you are overbought, it means that a reversal is imminent. But I look at it in a different lens and saying that, look, this is actually indicating that momentum is in around that, 70, 75, 76 there. But obviously, when you get to the 98, 96, yeah, that's a danger zone. But as long as you're just getting into that, period above the 70, I actually do get it and treat it as like the ease momentum on the chart. So that's the thing that I'm anticipating the Jasmy price to do in the following week. Right now, I think we're at 67. At the moment we are getting into that 70 territory here on the RSI, I think it's just gonna be a parabolic one here for Jasmy. I made a video on that yesterday. If I would actually go back to the past, I would have shown you the same exact thing happening right here too, and of course right here too. You can go as far back as 2023 maybe, and you can also see the same thing happening right there, and you also see the same thing pretty much happening right here. So what we need for Jasmy right now heading into next week is just to get above that 70 mark, close one daily candle above there too, and it's off to the races. Really, we can be expecting high price targets as high as 3 cents, maybe 3.4 cents thereabout. We'll talk about it in more detail in coming videos. So if you want to be seeing those things, of course, stay subscribed, and then of course we can talk about it in much more detail. Now let me move on to the next one, which is going to be XRP. And XRP is looking safe, I'll be honest with you. And I feel like next week, if the market really remains where it is right now, this is one that can actually begin rallying way before everything else does, because it has just been idling, right? I don't know if this is the right word, when you idling. Yeah, I think it's the one, right? When you about to start your car, you just go ahead and whatever the case may be. Let me not say silly things right here, but I think you get the concept right there. Now this is such a perfect setup here for XRP, because for so many reasons. Let me just explain things slowly but surely right there. You see, I already had drawings, but I can delete them and we can start afresh. So what we see here with XRP is very simple. We have got, we can also delete this moving average, because some people may get confused. So this is support, although maybe not as clear cut, because you can see also some extremes right here, but this is exactly what market makers want to do. They want to wrong foot everybody. So instead of just making this support very much clear, you lower it a little bit and liquidate everybody who has a stop loss right here. Then of course you push the price into the zone once again. So what you have there is your support level right around, I would say, 1.9 cents, as well as $2, between $2 and 1.9 cents. But no, $1.90. What am I saying? $1.90 here for XRP. Then of course, you also realize that you also have this downward sloping resistance, I would say, and you have got a very much perfect pattern right there, which is a descending wedge. Now these ones, some people say they are bearish patterns, some people say they are bullish patterns, but I would actually just go ahead and say, what, this actually depends on where this thing breaks. And I think the more likelihood in the current market conditions that this thing breaks towards the upside here for XRP. So I think that actually $3.50 is imminent for XRP. It's something that can be achieved very much easily. This is the third biggest cryptocurrencies on planet Earth, and it has got a great history. This has been the thing that has been it has always stayed in the top 10 at least the whole entirety of its life. There are only other two coins that can say the same thing, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we have to give XRP the respect that it deserves. But let me just go ahead and show you much more bullish signs right there, because the patterns are not always enough. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 50-day moving average once again, and you realize that you are just cracking above it right now, and a clear decisive candle here is the only thing that is delaying progress here for XRP. So it's looking safe right there. I'll just go ahead and show you the previous range in which the 50-day moving average was a massive thing here, which you can see it broke above it, and then of course it continued pushing towards the upside. I hope it's very much understood here for XRP. But I mean, this is not even the most bullish thing here for XRP. Let me just go ahead and show you maybe on lower time frames. There is a specific pattern that we have seen time and again in markets, which has indicated bottoms, right, left, right, and center. So I don't know if this is very much clear here, but you can take a look at this whole thing, which looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I don't like naked head and shoulders patterns, right? But when you see something like this is at the ultimate bottom. This is indicating something that is very much important here, and I'll show you a few examples maybe later on the stream. I'm very sure somebody's gonna come back and say, oh, what about XRP? I will show you a few more examples of that. But this whole thing here, my experience in the market is that this is indicated bottoms, and for XRP, we're just waiting, man. It's just a patience game. Now, obviously, we are not just talking about those things as well. We have in our Discord group a trade on XRP, which is up. I think the last time I checked, it was up 20%, and we're expecting way higher price, I guess, by there. So hopefully, it turns out to be to be great. But I'm very much optimistic here for XRP. I think it's gonna do just fine. That was it with XRP. If somebody asks about it later on, we can take a look at it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the one that a lot of people and they want so much, which is Telcoin. And then of course we're going to take a look at Zebec. We'll take a look at ICP Internet Computer Protocol. We'll take a look at everything. Really, there is no rush. It's a weekend. Let's just go ahead and chill here. By the way, do you like the music? There is some music which is playing in the background right there. Oh, I actually lost my line of thought. Right, I'm supposed to say Tel USDT. The KuCoin chart is good, but I think the Maxi chart is always the best, right? So yeah, what we see here is a moment, is this on log? Okay, this is the Telcoin price chart. Let me just take it to the daily time frame, and also make sure that I talk about this whole thing. We don't have to lose focus here with Telcoin, because there is something that is at great play here, which is this wake of accumulation pattern. So with wake of accumulation patterns, these things, they take years, but when they really start pushing, you can't catch this thing. So I think this is where Telcoin is, generally speaking. But if I'm to localize things here and just come back to the lower time frames also, I am anticipating exactly the same thing that I talked about with XRP, saying that we have formed a very common bottom. Maybe I should go ahead and show you those examples real fast, but I'll take you back and show you examples like Solana back in 2021. I'll show you examples like Sui also just recently, and also back in August when it started running. But once again, what you see is a support, and of course with that support you're also seeing this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which you can see here. And then you've got this one as well. You break your neckline and then you push towards the upside. We actually traded this one in our trading group, which by the way you can join via Patreon. Let me not try to make an advert on that, because I just want to deliver what I want to deliver here. But we traded this one and we managed to get a 4x on it, and it was pretty, it was just fantastic. So that was actually one of our biggest hits of the week. So that's pretty much it with Telcoin. I think that maybe, just maybe, we can test liquidity back right here at, I would go ahead and quote a value around 0.005554 thereabout, and from here I would expect this chart to start pushing once again towards the upside. Again, I think that the main focus here has to be on the long term, because the daily time frame actually are indicating that yes, this whole thing here has got a perfect wake of accumulation pattern, and it's just a matter of time. So let's see how the whole thing progresses, but both immediate short term and the longer term is looking okay for Telcoin. Let me go on to a similar chart, not maybe a similar chart, but a similar niche, which is also payments, and that's Zebec. And you have to respect the community behind this whole thing, right? And don't underestimate communities. Communities are what actually build cryptocurrencies. Think about Cardano, think about XRP, think about even Solana itself, it's community, right? So zbcn, USDT, and we'll make use of the Maxi chart probably. Maxi chart is looking safe. So this altcoin for me has got potential in terms of its project. There are a few things that I don't understand. Number one, for example, the token split thing. I really haven't figured it out well, but I listened to one of the guys talking about the projects, the CEO and stuff like that, and they really articulated some things in a very things that make sense, common sense, right? And I actually looked at it and I said, you know what, this thing is actually looking okay. And now the only thing that is stopping me from getting into it right away is the RSI. So just as I've indicated here, and I've been showing again once on Twitter, on X, saying that, look, I'm waiting for a clear break of this RSI, because this actually has been the thing that keeps this price from expanding, right? This has been, you know, the thing time and again. You can go back as far as this point here. You see, whilst the RSI is limiting the price around that 50 mark, take a look at what happens. You're just ranging, right? The moment you're able to break above in the RSI, that's also the moment you start seeing the price pushing, and that was a good one. So there has been some kind of a thing that happens around the 50 mark here on the RSI on Zebec at 50, and I'm waiting for a break above that level. So right now we are at 52. If we can close a few daily candles right there, I'm telling you, I'm just going in and I'm going to be announcing on my trading group, and we're going to be taking probably a massive long position right there on Zebec. And also I'll talk about it in a video. If you guys want that, give me feedback. If you want a Zebec dedicated video every week or every single 3 days, we can do that as well. So I'll be updating you on what happens here. But I think the key is just with the RSI. We don't have to complicate things. The whole thing is on a massive support already. So I think we're looking safe. Let me go ahead and take a look at what else is being talked about in the chat. XRP. I think we already talked about XRP, and just go back a little bit. Before Zebec, we were talking about XRP. We want to also take a look at XCN, which I know a lot of you love so much, and I also happen to be just lucky with XCN. You know, it was one of these live streams just like what I'm doing right now, and there was a guy, and this guy, if you're listening, shout out to you, he kept on saying that XCN. I'm like, what the heck is XCN, right? Onyxcoin. And I looked at it, I liked the chart, and I decided to buy some. I bought some and I sold at 4 cents, and it was like a 40x. I'm like, what happened here? That was actually just a very good experience, and from there I probably started liking live streams, because you also get to learn from the community, right? So that was really amazing. Towards the end of last year, I just decided to say, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it. The chart looks okay. I was actually comparing it to Velo, which is also another similar altcoin, but Velo didn't do what Onyxcoin did, so that was fantastic for Onyxcoin. Now with Onyxcoin, I've said in a few videos that this whole thing is pumped very much strongly in the last few weeks, days, 300-something%, and that's good. It's okay also to take a breather right in here. Now what I'm actually anticipating for this thing to do is to go sideways a little bit. I know for a lot of people they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's not gonna be interesting, but sideways action here is good, accumulating, and then of course here there's another run that this whole thing can do, and I would anticipate that that value will be going above 7 cents, 7.5 cents, just according to the charts that I've shown. I made a video on it 2 days ago or a day ago. You can feel free to watch that video. It's very much detailed. I also gave examples of other altcoins going as far back as 2017, and this has been the structure, right? If I may just go ahead and sketch this whole thing, you usually pump, then you crash, and then you kind of retrace in here, then you hang in between here, accumulating, and then of course you go for the expansion. So this has been a chart that is very much common, and again, some of those things you get to see them if you start living in charts, right? If you spend literally 24/7 looking at charts, there are some patterns which are not written in textbooks, which you're just going to be able to figure out, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, which is we can take a look at ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. It's really been a long time on the channel that we didn't cover ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, and we'll also take a look at that's HBAR, which is one that I'm also very much bullish on, right? So let's take a look at ICP, Internet Computer Protocol, and my thoughts on this are very clear. Let me just go ahead and delete all the other drawings right here. And I think that just like everything else, it's playing out very nicely in terms of bottoming out. I would actually go ahead and claim that this spot you see here around $4.25 was the bottom here for ICP, Internet Computer Protocol. I will make a dedicated video on this, show you pretty much all the examples and how this sort of structure has actually played out in the market before. But if you want a quick example, I can give you the example of the total to right, meaning, oh, look at this trade. This is our Onyxcoin trade, and it's looking safe. We are reaching our target very much soon. Congratulations to our holders by the. Anyways, I was talking about ICP Internet Computer Protocol. I think that the thing that I can say is this thing is bottomed out here, and ICP is slow. You have to understand that it's really a slow project in terms of like the price. It doesn't, it doesn't lead the market. It just waits for the market to decide, and then obviously it goes on to catch up. So I would be anticipating something like this to show up right there. This has been a bottoming structure, and as I said, I'm promising a lot of things right now, but I have to make a dedicated ICP Internet Computer Protocol video. Then of course I think we can take a look at HBAR, which I will just say that the analysis that I gave on HBAR is also the same thing that we have with XRP. And just full disclosure, just as with XRP, we are in a long position in our trading group, and I think HBAR was as high as 60%, as far as I remember. Yeah, 60%, and at some point it was even higher than 120%. So just like ICP Internet Computer Protocol, this is a clear bottom that you see here with an extreme, and then you're looking to march slowly but surely. So overly the market is looking bullish, guys. I'm really trying to look for weakness signs here, because I don't want to be caught off guard, right? But I can't help the situation. I'm looking at everything and it's looking like, yeah, there is bullish momentum everywhere, right? Of course, we know that there is an issue with India and what's that? Sri Lanka? I don't know, but there is a neighboring country to India, and they're having their thing right there. I don't know how big it's gonna get in terms of escalation, but that can be, some sort of narrative that can pull the markets down. The Zelensky Trump thing also probably can, but for now I'm looking at everything, trying to see, are there any weaknesses? I can't see them. I'm only seeing strength on the market. What can I do? Nothing, right? I have to put my money where my mouth is, and of course, if the whole thing is wrong, there is no room for Sobi in here, right? You get punished bigly, and you can't cry to mommy, you can't do anything like that. So you have to take a stance and make a decision. My decision right now was to go long, and we opened, I think, up to 7-8 trades in our private Discord group, and so far we don't have any loss, which is really, I don't know, it's unusual. You don't usually win everything, but I mean, what can we do? Can we complain? We can't really complain. So for HBAR, I think it's looking safe as well, and I would say, rather than looking at the price, I think it's better if you look at the market cap of HBAR, because it really tells a different story. So the market cap of HBAR actually indicates that HBAR, what it did was to expand and get back into the previous all-time high that it did set back in 2021. As you can see right there, this is the market cap of HBAR on a weekly time frame. And I was posting earlier this week saying that, what, who can be bearish on this whole thing? I'm anticipating at least a minimum of 450% pump for this whole thing to do, which is a good extension into the 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. So yeah, again, HBAR, just like XRP, just like ICP Internet Computer Protocol, just like Telcoin as well, they have almost the same chart, and it's looking okay. All right, yeah, speaking gets me time. Crop. We'll take a look at everything. Don't worry, guys. XCN, I think we talked about it. AOS, we'll take a look at things slowly but surely. I think one other thing that I promised, and which is on the title, is ACH. So this is called Alchemy Pay, and man, this altcoin is a beast in my humble opinion. I think it really doesn't get the respect it gets, but people will give it when the time is right. So with Alchemy Pay, just like HBAR as well, I really don't like to look at the price, because the price can be deceiving. Now, what you see here is that, yeah, with the price, you also still have got this uptrend, right, which is nice and easy. Then, of course, you've got a top resistance right there. Now, this has been a resistance for years, and eventually this resistance is going to break, because the rule, right? The more you hit on a resistance or a support level, that's actually the more likely you're going to be able to break it. Now, when this thing breaks, it's really going to be a moonshot. It's really going to be a moonshot. And it gets actually much more clearer if you take a look at the market cap, not the price itself. So I'll show you here Alchemy in terms of its market cap. Let's find out, shall we? Ethereum, nope, we want the market cap right there. Alchemy Pay market coin, Paprika, no. market cap, yeah, on coinmarketcap.com. Now, wow, it actually showed up very much quickly. So this is the thing that I'm looking at right now with Alchemy Pay. It's really an expanding triangle, and you can get a 10x when this whole thing breaks out of the whole thing. What am I talking about? When the thing breaks out of the support, as you can see right there. So I'm going to be lining up a massive trade here, and I want to wish everybody who's holding ACH, Alchemy Pay, some luck, because this is going to be good. I mean, from bottom to top right there, you can see there's about I would say a 15x, but obviously when you put here, because this is a log chart, it shows 100 and something %. This is crazy. It should actually be showing another 10x right there. So Alchemy Pay, I'm very much big on it, and I think it's just going to do well, just like the Telcoins, just like the Zebec. There is a certain category right there of payments which I'm just super bullish on. XRP, Onyxcoin, I'm not really sure if it's like payments and stuff like that, but I know Swiftcoin is also in that category as well, and these coins have got amazing communities behind them. Community is key in a bull run, right? For every cryptocurrency. If it's you and your grandma and your sister and this your cousin holding one altcoin, you're not going anywhere. It's just reality. All right. Yeah, I think we're done. We talked about everything. Actually, we talked about Telcoin, we talked about Zebec, we talked about XRP, we talked about ICP, we talked about Hedera HBAR, and now it's time for me to go into the chat and we take a look at what's actually what you guys want to talk about. So now you can just go ahead and request your altcoin and we can talk about it nice and easy. I'm gonna be waiting for those requests to start coming in, and then we can start it, no problem. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. Vchain, I think we have talked about it already. What else? Jasmy, we've talked about it. Crawl. This is, I think, the exchange coin for crypto.com. And one thing with, exchange tokens is that they do good. They just do well because the exchanges, I mean, they are monopolizing the whole thing, right? So let's take a look at Kronos. And I'll probably refer to the Maxi chart, which probably has got more data than anything else. And what we see right here, okay. Here, let me just adjust this chart nice and easy and put it on a daily time frame, which has got more data. Okay. Well, I like that it actually managed to hold the support right here. And that's a good thing. It's looking like it's going to climb up one more time. Let's take a look at the other indicators here. Yeah, honestly speaking, this is doing different than every other exchange coin that we know. This is doing very different. I mean, the Maxi token doesn't look like this. The Gate.io token doesn't look like this. BNB doesn't look like this. I really don't know what's wrong with this chart, but it's very complicated. It's really complicated. One thing that you can see is that, of course, yes, it's on a support level here. Now the question is like, okay, what happens when it starts going high here? Do you easily start breaking above this, above this, above this? There's a lot of resistance, I would say. And what's this all about, really? It's not a chart that I see very much common and most of the times, but one thing that I can deduce is that it's on a support level here. Now the question becomes, when you start going high, what is the selling pressure going to be looking like here and areas like these ones? There are a lot of question marks, but I would say that long term, when you look at exchange tokens, they just do well. This one is looking different from the rest of them. Like if you look at the Gate.io token, which is GT USDT, BNB, for example, MX USDT for Maxi, and the other ones, they look a little bit much more healthier than this one. I'm not saying the whole thing will never pump, but I'm just saying, when I look at a thing like this one, I'm saying, yes, it's on a support level, but, how high can it actually get? There is a lot of, price action that needs to be resolved right there. So we'll see how the whole thing actually plays out. Let's XRP, I think we talked about it, and we can take a look at another one here. Smash the like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Zebec, we oh, somebody sent a super chat. John 3 verse 16. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. And XRP, I think we took a look at that already. Then of course, what's your take on White Rock? Could you please give me the ticker symbol? I think what's the name of that guy? Plutobolic. What's your take on White Rock? I just got a bag. I heard about White Rock on Thursday for the first time. Before that, I didn't hear about it. You used to see it on Coin Market Cap, but I don't know much about the project. Is the ticker symbol White USDT? Maybe, because I looked at it one day and there was massive volume on it, and I was like, okay, what's happening by there? I think the ticker symbol is White. Yeah, White Rock Finance, exactly. So let's see how the chart actually looks. Damn, it's a new chart. It's really a new chart. I've got zero opinion, man. Zero opinion. There is nothing that I can base any analysis on this thing. Just zero. I can't say anything about it. All right, Mike P says, good afternoon. What is your opinion on Zebec? And where do you think it's going to top? I just talked about Zebec a little earlier on, but your question is different, which says, how high can it actually top? Well, I have no idea, man. Right now, my focus is that the chart at least gets out of, the wedge that it is stuck under. So yeah, just before you came, probably you didn't see that my analysis on Zebec, but I was talking about the fact that the RSI is still keeping the price low, and we need to see a break of that. I know that this thing is a low market cap, and we can try to base the price on the market cap, which is right around, as far as I remember, 60 million or maybe $62 million by there. There is a lot of growth. I mean, this thing potentially can go into a $600 million dollars market cap kind of a thing. It can even go as high as $1 billion, $2 billion and stuff like that, because of how solid the project is behind it. But for now, that is not my concern, to be honest with you. I've made a lot of mistakes in trying to overshoot targets rather than just focusing on small tiny things, right? For example, here I was just saying that I'm looking at the RSI, and I'm looking at it and saying that this actually is the one that's just stopping the price here. Once this RSI clears 55 or maybe 52 here, then this whole thing is starting to push towards the upside. I'm opening a long position here. I'm not saying this is financial advice. This is exactly what I'm going to do. I'll open the long position here on a 15x laverage. By the time the price goes on, at least maybe to reclaim this area around 0.022, 0.0022, whatever the case may be, on a 15x leverage, I'm already 15x up. Why do I have to wait for 2 billion? A lot of people are gonna do that, and I will really respect them for that. But after spending so much years in the market, I've just learned a few other different things, right? Yeah, it's good to hold it on spot, and I'm gonna try to do that as well. But I have got a different portfolio which I'm gonna be trying to capitalize on the volatility, because I think it's just gonna go. Sometimes all you need is 100% to 10 into a 10x to 10 into a 15x or whatever the case may be, as long as you know what you're doing, right? So let me just go ahead and show you an example of what I'm talking about now. This is not a 15x or a 10x, but this is a trade that we took on Telcoin last week. This week, actually, I should be saying, right? My internet is slow because I'm using a VPN right now. But this is a trade that we took. We got a 400% on the trade. That is a 4x, right? But if you actually go ahead and take a look at the chart, it only moved, I think it was 70% or something like that, right? So there's a way which you can amplify your gains and stuff like that. And for now, I think I can safely say that I'm retiring myself from predicting like super high levels of things. I'm just going to try to take things as they are on a day-to-day basis. Now, this is a different topic altogether, but think about it like this. There are over 1 million cryptocurrencies. How possible is it that you're going to be picking the one that goes ahead and does a 20x, a 50x? the odds are really stacked against your favor. But at times, you can actually go ahead and see that, okay, look, this chart looks like it's going to pump 100%. If I can, you know, sacrifice a little amount, for example, let's say you're going to be saying, okay, I've got $100, you know what? Okay, let me not get into this thing, you know, we'll talk about it on a different day. But I was just trying to say that I'm not looking at, you know, the whole thing like, okay, it gets to 600 million, it gets to $6 billion in terms of its market cap. At that point, I'll have 100x. I'm looking at things on a local scale, and I'm trying to do it my own way, which may not always be right. But in this current market conditions, things have been super hard to just sit and wait for things. It's only a few altcoins that are able to do that. Solana did it, Sui did it. But I mean, just that example, right, with Sui, another person would have said, you know what, I'm not going to go for Sui, I'm going to go for an exact copy of Sui, which is Aptos. You get wrecked. It's so hard these days in the market. You have to be, you know, a little bit, you have to have a little extra. Anyways, let's take a look at the next one. And what top cycle? Oh, this is exactly what I'm saying. I'm thinking about getting some smaller coins and having BTC, Link, AVAX, and Solana. Okay, David Middleton says, can we check Morpho hourly and for hourly, brother? Okay, we'll take a look at that. Happy Sabbath to everybody. God is great, Christ is King. By the way, Middleton, we are not supposed to talk about religion, but I also happen to be a Seventh-day Adventist, and yes, today is actually Sabbath, so happy Sabbath if you happen to be one as well. I agree, take it step by step, brother. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing as well. So I think there was a suggestion of Morpho. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. The ticker symbol should actually be Morpho as well. HOUSDT. And let's find out, shall we? Yeah, pardon my internet connection. I'm using a VPN, because if I don't use a VPN, there are some sites which I'm not able to access. So that's Morpho. Maybe we can refer to the Maxi chart, because Maxi always has got most data. Okay, not a bad chart, I would say right now, as you can see that it's trying to go out. Well, I'm a little late to it. If I had seen this earlier on, I would have definitely gotten in here. I'll show you why I'm saying that. Sometimes it's very simple. It's just about the behaviors of the RSI. And on the daily chart, you said you should check the 4-hourly time frame, but let me start here with the daily time frame. I can also do it, right? It's my live stream. I'm kidding. But also here on a daily time frame, you can see that there was just a resistance on this RSI here. When that got broken out, then this is the moment you're seeing the price starting to do something special here, right? When I say special, obviously we're talking about this, which is almost a 40%. Which other market can you get a 40% in? Probably none, right? However, as we start going up right here, do I expect this thing to just do something like this here and never look back? I think it's just unrealistic, right? It's just unrealistic. I think, yes, we can have exciting moments like these, but there can be much more accumulation here. Maybe you push towards the upside again, get another rejection. It really just doesn't get easy with altcoins like these ones. But for now, you're breaking trend and you're looking safe. Actually, I would say you've broken trend already. Let me just figure this out nice and easy. Yeah, you've broken trend, but sometimes breaking trend doesn't mean it's just going to be up like that. Let me take a look at it on a 4-hourly, as you said. And guys, you know, when I sound not bullish on a token, it doesn't mean that I'm right. You know, I'm literally just saying my opinions right there. And you shouldn't be disheartened if you really believe in the project, because really, what am I going to determine what the price is going to be? I don't think so. On the 4-hourly time frame, I don't see anything different than I see on the daily time frame, brother David. Let's see. Velodrome Finance. I think this is one that I also used to talk about. Is it Velodrome Finance? No, it's not. It's not Velo. It's Velodrome Finance. So what's the ticker symbol for Velodrome Finance right now? Because I know Velocity or Velodrome Finance. I see it. Well, that's very interesting. How can they have the same ticker symbol? Because Velo USDT is Velocity, which is a payments solution. Then Velodrome Finance. Wow. crazy things are happening right there. Let's take a look at it on Coinbase then and find out what it's up to. I think this one, just like Velodrome Finance, they move in tandem. And okay, man, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about XRP, ICP, HBAR. This is the exact same setup that we are seeing. And just as I was saying with those others, this is a bottom setup. How high can this thing go? I have no idea. But one thing that I can say with confidence is that this is a bottoming structure, and slowly but surely I would be expecting this thing to start working its way towards the top. So I don't know how high the whole thing can go, but what I'm just sure about is something like this. You have seen this so much with my own two eyes on the charts. All right, I think we can also take a look at Velodrome looks in bottom looks. Oh, exactly, we say the same thing. We say the same thing. Yeah, so we're pretty much saying the bottom is in here for Velodrome Finance. Hopefully the rally was just not something that is you know, what is it called? Is it called a dead cat bounce? I hope it wasn't like that, because we desperately need this, right? We really need it. So guys, I mean, these are some of our trades that we are holding in our trading group. We have got trades with Alpaca, which is a short, and then we've got Supra, which is a long, and then we've got Zebec, which actually I haven't entered just yet. Eigenlayer, some people are still holding it. The target is $1.20. Gala was up, I think the last time I checked it was up 120%. Then XRP was up about 20%. Jasmy is up in 200s, 300s of percent. It's doing quite safe. Then BTC, no, we're not in the trade. GPS, we closed the trade. HBAR, we are up 60%. Plume, I think we are up 40% as far as I remember. Telcoin, we closed the trade on 400%. Then Strax, we closed this one's already. IGO, we also closed one just this afternoon. Then of course we had Notcoin, which was up 135% the last time I checked. You know what? I think I can find this in the Discord group, but I don't know if I can be able to open my Discord right now. Probably you guys will see some other chats that I do which are not about crypto. When I say chats, I'm talking about conversations, right? So I won't open it right now. Anyways, Xchain, and exactly, I actually talked about it on X the other time, that Xchain and Swift, they look pretty much the same thing, and they pump the same way. I don't know if they've got the same market maker or if the big money behind them are pretty much the same, because I also know for sure that Xchain shares the same community with Swiftcoin, and they also share the exact same community with Jasmy. They also share the same community with Zebec. And I would also put in there a little bit of Telcoin, right? So there is a little bit of interlocking that happens with these tokens. And they also have got one thing in common as well. They are all on Coinbase for one reason or the other, except for, I mean, Telcoin is not. But the others, they are there on Coinbase. All right, let's take a look at the next one there. Polkadot, Vchain daily, please. And I've been small, okay. I could have sold bought at 300 to 400%. But I want some Xchain, but I haven't pulled the trigger. Okay. Polkadot and Vchain, man, these are dead projects, man. Polkadot especially. I don't know what happened with Polkadot, but it used to be the what is it called? Whatever the case may be. English is not really that easy sometimes, but I forgot what I wanted to say. So that's dot, right? Dot USDT and Vchain. I used to love these projects, man. I was crazy about Vchain. I think if Vchain would have been released this year, and with that real world assets kind of a thing that was going on, man, the whole thing would have shot up massively. But anyway, it did well in 2018, and it also did well in 2020, to be honest with you. So Polkadot, I've got a story with Polkadot. I bought Polkadot at $5.20, thinking that it was really just about to start ripping, and then it pulled all the way back to something like $3.50. I'm just like, okay, you know what? So yeah, some Polkadot is waiting, and we'll see if we can get to the top of the range. Now, these are looking like, you know, general Wyckoff accumulation patterns that we have seen time and again in the market, and it's just a range, right? So at this point, you're at the bottom of the range, and I would say that, you know, don't expect anything to pump Polkadot right now. Obviously, you never say never in crypto, but on the likelihood of things, there's nothing going on for Polkadot. It's one of those things where you have lived your moment and you're trying to find relevance once again, and it's just not working. You just end up relying on the rest of the market to do well, and I think from there you can just try to capitalize on that. But for now, I don't think that it has got its own thing going, and that's not too good. Obviously, that's not too good. Let's see. So, I mean, from the very bottom right there, if you would buy the support, you're looking at the top, which also is not really enticing if you think about it. You're looking at only a 196%. I mean, we make 196% on a trade that moves 10% up or 15% up. So, why bother waiting for, you know, I don't know how long, but, you know. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Tell me if you like the background music, actually, because this actually is a very good one for me, at least. All right, I think the next one that we can also take a look at is Vchain. Vchain, I actually forgot the ticker symbol for Vchain. Man, I'm not serious. So that's VET-USDT. That's how insignificant it has gotten. So let's take a look at it nice and easy. It has a slightly better chart actually than Polkadot, I would say, for now. Well, this is not looking bad. I'll just be honest with you. This is not looking bad. I mean, compare it to where it was here, the rally, the bottom of the 2022 bear cycle, still right around that level. This doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. I used to love the whole thing. I used to trade it. I used to think it was gonna do well, but I've moved on to other things, and I've just understood that your feelings don't matter about a coin. On a daily chart, man, there is nothing much that I can say except that it's also just hitting its support levels, just like any other altcoin that is doing right there. The market will move in tandem. It's not one of those which is leading the market as well. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I don't have much strong opinions on Vchain, as well as, what was the other one? That was Polkadot, right? Not much big opinions right there. My average for DOT is $4 and VET is like 0. That's just 2 cents, 2.2 cents right now. It's 2.7 cents. So you're in a profit right now, and you're doing a good job. Anybody who is in profit right now is doing fantastic. Then let's see here. Have you looked at Chainlink, my biggest bag besides BTC? Yeah, I think Chainlink is not going away anytime soon. They have managed to get the relationships that they want, and they have actually done a good job in connecting everything. I mean, every project just wants to be linked with Chainlink. I don't know what's really special about it, and even the other oracles that have tried to catch up with Chainlink, they haven't been able to be successful in that. So I really commend Chainlink for what they did, and you can also see it on the price. The price doesn't look bad at all. What was I doing drawing all these inverse head and shoulders patterns right here? Hopefully I made some money from here. I've forgotten about it, but let's find out, shall we? So this is looking good. It's a coin that is in an uptrend, right? The uptrend at times may not be as clear, but of course you have to understand that you don't always find a clear chart. So you can see a very clear Wyckoff accumulation pattern here that broke out, got back tested, you set a higher high, and then of course you back set once again the top of the support for the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. So I think that odds are in the favor of Chainlink pushing towards the upside one more time. I would not be surprised at all if Chainlink goes on to set a new all-time high, provided that the rest of the market is okay. When I say the rest of the market, I'm not talking about your average altcoin. I'm talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, probably XRP as well, and Tron, if those things are doing well. By the way, who likes Tron in the chat, right? Does anybody like Tron? Because it's a chat that it should be your friend. Of course, if you hate Justin Sun and you, okay, for me, I don't like the guy, but I also love money, right? So I would think that Chainlink here, under normal circumstances, should be at $88, man. It can do that. $88, 1.618 Fibonacci extension level is something that can be achieved, in my humble opinion. But let's quickly take a look at other suggestions by them. This is not a dead project right now. Polkadot is dead. That one is dead. I mean, rest in peace. What is he saying here? Have you looked at Chainlink? No. Chainlink $60 to $70. I think we are in the same range, $60 to $70. I overshot it a little bit with an $88 price targets, but $60 to $70. I think you're also looking at previous all-time highs. So we're pretty much saying the same thing, because once you're above, the previous all-time high, the thing that you look for next is expansion, right? Expansions usually come at the golden ratio 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, and that's exactly where $88 here is for Chainlink. Let's see what else is there. Tessa says Tron going well against BTC. Yeah, Tron is a beast, and people just like to use their feelings and say, oh yeah, Justin Sun, oh this and that. But bro, are you here for personalities, or you're here to make money? I mean, look at this chart. There is no stronger chart than this one. The same goes for XRP as well. People hate XRP into oblivion. Okay, why do you hate XRP into oblivion? You should be loving the whole thing. Look at this chart, man. And this is a multi-year trend line, bro. Who is betting against this? Not even Solana has a chart like this one, as strong as this one. Now, in terms of gains, obviously, Solana does better. But this thing that we are seeing here on Tron is one for the history books, man. Actually, I had an idea here. I don't know if I followed this up, but I may have cut my long position on Tron because it moves slow, right? But moving slow doesn't mean that this thing is not making money. It actually is making money, although it's moving slow. So here, what was happening is that, one second, something is happening. All right, what was happening is that it broke its downtrend here, backtested this, and I said, you know what, probably when we set a higher high towards 2.26 cents per scale, I'm gonna just go back into the long. But I remember announcing a long position in the group. I don't know what happened with that because we had so many other trades open, so we'll find out, shall we? Oh yeah, this was the same idea. So Tron is looking strong. Anyway, I'm not here to advocate for Tron. Everybody will choose their own altcoin, and I wish everybody luck. But don't be hating coins saying that, oh, this one. But Polkadot you can hate, because I'm joking. Anyway, let's quickly take a look at the next one. Ethereum weekly time frame. We'll take a look at that one as well. We'll take a look at EOS, and we'll also, okay, let's find out about EOS. I mean, it was in 2021, and I hated EOS. Okay, listen, this is an important story. I hated EOS for one reason, because it was being talked about at Crypto Banter. That was back in 2021. I hated it because it was being talked at Crypto Banter. If you compare its high this year and where it was in 2021, man, I would have made a lot of money. But because I just didn't like Crypto Banter, I said, oh, okay, I'm not going to be touching it because it's being hyped by Crypto Banter. Stupid decisions. Don't be hating on coins, right? Or loving coins too much. It just doesn't work. I mean, let's take a look at EOS, right? What's the ticker symbol for EOS? So that's AI or ZY USDT. Let's find out, shall we? Maybe we can go with the Maxi chart. Does Gate or Gate.io? Yeah, Maxi is probably the better one. Alright, we don't have a choice here. We have to go with Gate.io. KuCoin would have actually worked as well, but yeah, I hated EOS in 2021 because it was being talked about at Crypto Banter, and I missed everything. That was a dumb thing to do. So there is not a full chart here, but I had an idea which I panned out. So let me just go ahead and regurgitate that. I think that's actually the better way to do things, because it means that I've spent some time on the chart before, and we'll see if it works. Support, resistance, now breaking above it. That's looking good. All right, so if you've been listening to me, I've been talking about things like HBAR, XRP, Telcoin having some kind of a chart here, and you can see how the bottom has actually came in. I think there was a token that we talked about like moments ago as well. That was, oh damn, I forgot about it. One moment, let's take a look at the chart. What was that, man? Oh, Velodrome Finance, yeah. Saying that the bottom is almost in. That was pretty much the same thing right there, right? So that's the same thing that I can say here for EOS. Man, I don't know if it can go to $3, but I think it's not something that is too hard to do, because from your all-time high until that level there, it's your 2.618 Fibonacci extension level. It can be done. It can be done. However, this just like these ones are not very common. They are not things that I see every now and then. So probably my confidence in that is not as high as I would do with something that I've seen time and again in the market. This doesn't mean I'm right, obviously, right? It's just my the way I look at things. All right, people, I think that we can actually call it a day. We have done so much talking, and yeah, we'll talk more later in the future. If you are looking for a trading group with people who know what they are doing and a profitable community, feel free to join our trading group. The link is going to be somewhere there in the description, and you can come join the Patreon. It's just $100, not per month, but per year. I don't think there is any cheaper Patreon than that, but it's not about, making so much money. We could go and say, oh yeah, it's $250 per month. But how many people are going to be able to afford that? Probably not, right? I think the most important thing is for people to come. We've got limited spaces. I think right now we only have 7 slots left. The reason why it's limited is because I talk to my Patreon members on DMs. We do calls sometimes when it's necessary. So now imagine if we just open the whole thing and 50 people join in. Where am I going to get the time to do that? It's just impossible, right? So we have to limit it. Again, it's $100 per year, yeah, we're taking some amazing trades right there. Let me just go ahead maybe and show you a few examples of some trades that we have taken. And okay, actually we actually have 8 spots remaining. So this was last week, not the week that we just passed, the other week right there. Our biggest hit was it was not Fatcoin with 74%. That was actually a low performer. Retard Finder Coin was 200%. It's good. Strux was 131%. That's good. Then Pi Network, we opened 2 trades, 97%. Not bad, good. Then we also had another Pi Network trade, which was up 192%. That was good. Oh, this was actually our biggest hit, which was 427%. That's last week, right? This week so far, today is already Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and update these trades, but I think so far we have actually managed to hit a top hit with Telcoin, which was 400%, and then with Jasmy 330%. Then GPS was finalized at 326%. Obviously, we have had losses. I think we lost 2 trades in Ego, which got totally liquidated, and there was another trade as well which I lost. I really don't remember what it was, but it could also be another trial on Ego. But I remember there were 2 trades that were lost, but the other ones, they did pretty well. So we're holding a few trades open right now, including XRP, including Jasmy, including Plume as well. Then we have got Onyxcoin, which is open. I was announcing that we are taking some chips off of the table at 135%. Then I think there was also Polka, which is a short that is open. Yeah, this one, is a bonus trade. I was actually mentioning to members, saying that, look, this is, something that you can have for fun. Learn to trade as well, but I think it's also good. And Fatcoin, we also traded that thing, and I don't know. I don't like the name, man. How can this industry be talking about innovation and then you have got something called butthole Fatcoin? What's that all about? Interesting stuff. It is what it is. Then let me see. I think we've got Gala as one of the trades which is leading, and it's open. I think it's about 100%. It's looking safe. XRP, I've already mentioned about it. Jasmy is the one that is leading the line. It's doing fantastic. It's doing a good job. ZKJ was there. HBAR also is part of our trades right now, which are open. So if you want to be looking at these trades alerts, and if you want to be, learning also how to trade, because oh shit, the whole thing was gonna fall. So if you're also just somebody who what I can say, wanna learn trading, look, I'm really open to helping, right? I don't have all the time in the world, but what I want is somebody who is serious about what they are gonna do, because if you're not serious, I mean, no matter what I do, it's not going to be helping. So there's this course which I give to Patreon members, not as any extra charge or anything like that. It's part of that $100 per year, subscription. And I have 42 videos in here explaining what's what, beginning even from explaining what trading view is until you are able to set up your own charts and indicators, and you can trade. But of course, maybe following the course on your own can be difficult. This is where the DMs and the calls come into play in that Discord thing. But everything has to be, you have to go through Patreon first for you to be able to access all these things. But yeah, if you are really serious about it, once again, I have to stress this because there are 7 slots. If somebody comes in and now they are sleeping, yet there's somebody with a need of this kind of things, that's not too good for anybody. Why are you doing that kind of a thing? But anyways, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and having a conversation with me. I want to give a big shout out to what's the name of this guy, David Middleton. He says that you got an email. Yeah, I've got an email. I think my email is somewhere there. If you go to the about part of the channel, it should be cryptofrontio@gmail.com. It should be there actually on the description if you wanna email and talk about a specific topic. Let's see, you can do that. David Middleton, man, I know you from these live streams, but I don't know if we've had another interaction outside of this, but okay, you know what, before I go, you're saying that I should be careful of Gala. Why do you say that? Let me go ahead and open the Gala chat and let's talk about it, right, with everybody seeing, and we can see if your concerns are real. Let's go ahead and find out, shall we? So I'll start my arguments here with this whole thing is that, let me just go ahead and clear this also, and I see a clear Wyckoff accumulation pattern over the years, right? Now, you may be saying that, okay, you said something crazy about Polkadot and this. Polkadot doesn't look like this. Polkadot looks like, you know what, right? And man, I hate to be saying that somebody's holding. Yeah, you're holding Polkadot. If it's you holding Polkadot, I don't care. But Polkadot is looking like right? Now, this is the bottoming sign that I've been talking about time and again. And I'm looking at a push here towards the top of the range. Now, from the bottom of the range, right, until that level, you're looking at 300%. Now, remember, for Polkadot, you're only looking at 180 something percent. That's not enticing, man. This is 300% back. Oh, actually 400% if you just go to the top of the range. Now, on a 10x average, you get a 40x from a 200%. I mean, for a 400%, I'm saying. Now, am I going to hold the trade until it gets to, oh, that no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut it at some point, right? But I think there's just an opportunity, even if it's a dead cat bounce on my leverage spot, on my leverage position. I think it's good. Now let me hear your argument, man, before I go. All right, long term it goes down only, bro. You have to give to get in, get up, get up. Okay. So I think we're on the same page. That's exactly the same thing that I'm talking about, isn't it? That's all I'm saying, and I'm not mad about that. Just a project that I'm up on. I'm gonna probably just be rolling BTC, bro. I think we are on the same page 100% in everything. I think we're on the same page. So yeah, thank you so much, man. I think it's really great to have a conversation with you. If you're looking for my email, it's cryptofrontio at, you know what, maybe I can just type it in nice and easy. So that should be cryptofront. Let me actually play the music, right, as I'm typing in here. Don't go away before you receive the email. yeah, man, I think you got the email right there, and I think we can call it a day. Hopefully, I'll see you around somewhere soon. Take good care of yourselves, and yeah, I wish everybody a lot of gains, right? Thank you. Bye-bye.